Hi, this is Marina, and I want to talk to you today about rejection. Because rejection is not always for the reasons that you might be thinking and feeling it is. So, some of us, and you might recognize yourself, carry a particular vibration. It's like a vibration of truth. It's like you're an instigator of change. So, my mum, for example, would say, I don't know what it is about you. You come into the room, it's like a bomb goes off, and you don't even need to say anything or do anything. She said, it's just something about you, and the truth just comes out, or the truth is shown to us. And I didn't fully understand it. I was back when I was about 16. And now I get that I have been rejected my whole life for being and feeling and having this sort of frequency within me. And you see it in a lot of healers, a lot of people that are in the transformation business. They kind of carry this frequency. So again, you might recognize it in yourself, or you might start to see it in others as I'm talking. If you carry it in yourself, you may have been rejected in your life. Instead of thinking that it's because the person didn't find you very funny, what if it was because the person actually found you too confronting? It wasn't even what you were saying or doing. Just something about your energy was highlighting where they were at. And because they didn't want to self-reflect, they don't want to look at where they're at. They're not ready to look at what they're at, and that's okay. They need to reject you because it's just too much. You're too confronting for them. So rejection is not always what you think. You can be rejected because of your light. It's too bright. I even had a friend of mine years ago. She said to me, I can't be your friend anymore because I can't keep up with you. I can't keep up with the amount of transformation you're doing. I said, I don't care about that. It was just really, really weird. And she said, I know, but it's too much for me. And I grieved a lot. I lost a really good friend. She just felt like it was too much for her. And I didn't fully understand it then. I just felt incredibly rejected. We all carry incredible light, but there's a certain light frequency that for people who are not ready to self-reflect will reject. They just don't want it. And we've all been there, right? We've all been there in our lives where it's been too much for us. We're just not ready for it. And what can happen is we can reject people without even realizing it. And these people that carry this frequency can get used to it, thinking it's something they're doing. Actually, it's not. What if instead of it was what you were doing, actually it's what you're emitting? So I made a couple of notes that I just want to run through before I also go into something else. So for people that don't want to do the work, you can actually be very unnerving. So for you, this is about actually, can you celebrate now this particular gift that you have? And notice that the people that are not ready for it may not value you. They may not hear you. They may not see you. They may want to cut conversations short. They may seem a bit guarded around you. And that's not because you're doing anything in particular. It's just the energy. You carry that energy of change, and they're not ready for it. So when I get rejected, honestly, it's like it's my ticket out of here. That person has had the guidance from their higher self that it's not quite what they're wanting right now. And if I'm really honest, actually, it isn't really what I've been wanting right now. But often I haven't heard it. They just heard it quicker. So they've rejected me. And this happens for a lot of people that have this transformation energy within them. They get rejected before they often go, actually, did this relationship add to me? Did this person see my value? Were they willing to see my value? So for example, I had a friend years ago. I would always refer lots of business to her. She was in a different area to me, but a healer. And she never referred once to me, ever. Ever, 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 ever. And she ended up kind of copying what I was doing, but for her clients, but she wasn't qualified to do what I do. And she completely messed up because she didn't know what she was doing really, and called me and said, oh my God, what do I do? This client hasn't stopped crying all week. And she said, I've been looking on the Debbie Ford website. Debbie Ford is the woman that taught me shadow work. And she said, but I can't see how to get a session with her. And I said, what do you want with Debbie Ford? Debbie Ford's dead. You should refer your client to me. And this friend of mine who I had helped with a session, and the session had helped her so much, she then tried to replicate that with her client without actually being qualified to do it, to take that client into shadow work. Couldn't see it, couldn't see my value, didn't get me, wasn't willing to self-reflect. And so for me, it's like, I have to gently let you go, because it's difficult to be in a relationship where I'm not seen. My light really isn't seen here. And I realized in that relationship, I was overgiving. And so what often happens in these relationships is we overgive to avoid being rejected. But actually, it's okay if that person rejects us. They're just not ready. And actually, it's not right for us either. We're not ready. We may not want to have a relationship where we're not seen, we're not valued. I know I don't. It doesn't work for me. So we're really just honoring ourselves, aren't we? Where the rejection allows that person to honor them so they feel safe in where they're at. And it allows us to honor ourselves and say, actually, I don't want to work hard for your love anymore. I don't want to shout to be heard. I want to be valued and seen. Therefore, thank you for your rejection. You allow me to come to my next level, which is to be around souls that are going to be attracted by my self-respect, by my value, by my light, and will not feel threatened by it. And that's where I want to be. So rejection is not always rejection. I know there's that popular term out there right now that rejection is redirection. Allow yourself, if you have been rejected recently, to not just jump to this knowledge without expressing how hurt you have felt. Spiritually bypassing the human emotion isn't going to necessarily get you there quicker. You might think it is, but it isn't. So allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to feel the hurt of not having that person see your value, or being rejected by that person who isn't ready or willing to do the work. That's okay. Feel it, express it, and then allow yourself to gently let them go. You may redefine the relationship you have with them so it remains loving, it remains accepting and beautiful. It's just that now you're aware there's a lid on it, and you're no longer going to be overgiving, over trying to change that. You accept their rejection, you accept it with grace, you honor it as you honor it in you, and realize that it's time for you to go to your next level. Thank you for listening. I hope this supports you in your journey.